There's another tornado brewing over there in the name of Inoue. I think that dude really is pound number one.
Naoya Inoue didn't just face a psycho. He faced a reckless brawler who disrespected him and paid with his career. One shove turned into 3 knockdowns, and one careless moment sparked a storm, and by round 2, he was crumbling under the weight of his own mistake. Because when you make it personal with Inoue, he stops boxing and starts erasing you.
He's definitely the face of boxing internationally for sure.
And the International Boxing Federation is Sergio Rodriguez, Naoya Inoue.
And that's exactly what played out when Inoue stepped into the ring with Emmanuel Rodriguez, a fighter who didn't just show up with a belt, but with attitude. Everything about the build-up screamed tension. Rodriguez was confident, almost smug, walking around like he already had the win in the bag. He had the IBF title, an undefeated record, and a corner that talked like they were untouchable. Bold move when you're standing across from Naoya Inoue, a man who doesn't forget, doesn't forgive, and never fights emotional, unless you give him a reason to.
Inoue from Japan in the sparkling shorts. Rodriguez getting things done quickly. And Carl, we have to watch every single second.
Inoue having a look at Rodriguez started coming forward. Inoue on the back.
The opening round was tight. Rodriguez came out sharp, snapping jabs, trying to establish control. And to be fair, for about 3 minutes, he held his own. But Inoue wasn't there to trade jabs. He was like a sniper waiting for the exact second to pull the trigger.
Fighting background, he's worked exceptionally hard as well for this fight. And he's got into from Inoue. This is a fearsome flurry, and he's down. He's got him with a left for the first time in his career. Rodriguez in the second.
2 minutes to go, Jam.
This is unbelievable for Inoue. Third time he's gone down, rolled over, rocked to the core. Another count, it's over. Michael Alexander waves it off in the second. Shoto, Japanese.
Then came round 2. It took just one left hook, clean and explosive, and Rodriguez's legs turned to jelly. The crowd hadn't even finished reacting before Inoue buried a shot into the body that folded Rodriguez like a lawn chair. He went down, got up, then went down again and again. 3 knockdowns in seconds, each one deliberate, devastating, and clean. No panic and wild swings, just execution at its purest.
Oh, he's got it to take much more than that. Surely Rodriguez, he's shaking it, he's up.
And here's the part people miss. This wasn't just about power, it was about control. Rodriguez didn't get overwhelmed, he got outclassed. You could see the panic set in. All that confidence, gone. All that buildup, erased. In 2 rounds, Inoue took an undefeated world champion and turned him into a warning sign.
The winner, progressing to the WBSS final, and the new IBF Bantamweight Champion of the World, Naoya.
Rodriguez got erased in 2 rounds. Precise, brutal, and clean. And guys, when Luis Neri, another psycho, stepped into the ring, he didn't bring strategy. He brought madness. Let's be real, if anyone perfectly fits the psycho label, it's Neri. Wild hands, no guard, and the kind of ego that thinks rules are optional. He came in swinging, like brute force would be enough to shake Inoue. And for one terrifying moment, it looked like it might.
Neri right now doesn't seem spooked by the punching power. Oh! There it is!
Inoue goes down! Luis Neri with a first-round knockdown of the monster!
In round 1, Neri landed a left hand that sent Inoue crashing to the canvas. Not a stumble, a real knockdown. The Tokyo Dome froze because for the first time in his career, Inoue looked vulnerable. But he got up like nothing happened, and the entire vibe changed.
Neri again on the attack, coming forward, reaching with that left hand. You see him forward shift, and Inoue right there just filling that gap.
Round 2, Inoue switched on. He reset the pace with cold precision, picked Neri apart piece by piece, and turned every wild swing into a desperate cry for survival.
Like that! There it is! There's the risk with no reward! Left hook scores the knockdown again!
By round 5, it wasn't a fight. It was a beating. Neri looked confused, like he had no idea what he'd started. Inoue began baiting him, calling him in, like he was inviting one last mistake. And when it came, Inoue ended it, a vicious uppercut and a straight right that turned the lights out.
There's the risk with no reward. Left hook scores the knockdown.
Neri unleashed chaos, and Inoue responded with calculated destruction that made every reckless punch feel like a mistake.
Neri right now doesn't seem spooked by the punching power.
Oh!
That knockdown in round 1 didn't expose weakness, it exposed overconfidence. Because if you think you can shake Inoue with one punch, you clearly don't understand what happens when the monster wakes up. After Neri, you'd think people would learn, but ego has a short memory, and Stephen Fulton walked in thinking intelligence could outscore violence.
Well, let's make them believers, he said. The task is in front of him to defend his titles on Inoue's turf. Round number 1. And Timmy, do you expect Inoue could come out fast here and test Fulton off the 13-month layoff?
Absolutely. But right now he's showing some respect right now for Fulton's game.
Fulton wasn't reckless like the others. He was calculated, confident, and convinced he had the blueprint to beat the monster. Bigger reach, slick movement, undefeated record on paper. He had every reason to believe he'd pull it off. He even said the hype around Inoue was just because he's Japanese, as if a resume built on knockouts across weight classes was some PR stunt.
The guards of Fulton.
Right back to it.
There it is again.
And there's the first right hand that is able to land, and he comes with it again, and then a 4-punch combination.
But the second that bell rang, Fulton found out the hard way. Inoue doesn't care how smart you are if you can't handle what's coming.
See, what he's doing is he's just taking a look at him. But trust me, I assure you, once he gets his range, he will start to attack Fulton.
Of course, range will be critical tonight. Remember, Stephen Fulton, a 3.5-inch reach advantage, the naturally bigger man, taller man. Always been at 122 pounds. Inoue worked his way up.
The opening round was too calm. Fulton tried to stay composed, but Inoue was already reading him like a manual. He slipped the jab, cut off angles, and started threading punches through a guard that was supposed to be airtight. And when Fulton tried to return fire, it was like punching fog. Nothing landed clean. Nothing slowed Inoue down. And honestly, by round 6, the chess match had turned into a massacre.
And I go back, Tim Bradley, to what Stephen Fulton said of hearing those who doubt that they don't believe in me. Well, let's make them believers, he said. The task is in front of him to defend his titles on Inoue's turf.
Fulton's footwork was fading, his timing off, and his defense unraveling under pressure. Inoue walked him down with pinpoint body shots and sharp counters, then cracked him with a right hand that took the fight out of him. Seconds later, a left hook dropped Fulton, the first knockdown of his career, and once again, the so-called threat left with silence in his corner and reality on his face.
Tried to grab the ropes, backed up into the corner. Here comes Inoue. That destructive, decisive power does it again.
Then came Paul Butler, the kind of psycho who thought he could outwit a monster by refusing to fight him. He didn't charge like a maniac or throw a wild haymaker. Believe me, his madness was quieter, more absurd.
Those type of situations.
Opens up this third round with a combination as Pablo's in that corner and desperately needs to get out.
He truly thought that running, blocking, and hiding behind a high guard for 12 rounds would somehow impress the judges, protect his belt, and earn him survival. And literally, against someone like Inoue, that kind of mindset is pure insult. That's not caution at all, that's pure delusion, because in what world do you step into the ring with a knockout artist like Inoue and think defense alone will carry you through?
Inoue closing the gap into that corner again. Left hook comes in. Inoue comes around the guard with a right hand.
And Inoue, he didn't just see the bluff, he dismantled it with a smirk. He gave Butler exactly what he thought he wanted, time. But every second was a trap, every round a lesson in humiliation.
That power of Inoue comes through, and he gets it done in 11.
Inoue stalked him, broke him, and turned the ring into a slow-burning arena of regret. This wasn't just a beatdown, it was a masterclass in domination. Because when a man steps in with no plan to fight, Inoue doesn't just win, he makes you wish you never entered the arena. And just when it seemed like Inoue had faced every kind of crazy, from the wild brawlers to the silent runners,
Really believes in himself. Doubt captures him, and this is good stuff from Inoue.
here came Nonito Donaire, the kind of psycho who didn't need to scream or throw tantrums to prove he was dangerous. He walked into the ring at 36 years old with a calm smile and eyes that said one thing: I'm not here to survive you, I'm here to break you. It wasn't arrogance, it wasn't desperation, it was that rare brand of madness that only a veteran legend carries when he has nothing left to prove and everything left to give. Donaire didn't flinch, didn't hesitate, and definitely didn't backpedal.
Andre Ward, and it's Donaire coming out fast with the left hook. Both fighters said they needed to be better than they were the first time around.
From the opening bell, he chose violence, and not the sloppy kind, but the kind that comes with surgical timing and decades of experience. What made this truly insane? Donaire actually landed. He broke Inoue's orbital bone, bloodied him, and kept charging like he was ready to kill the monster myth. But here's the thing, Inoue doesn't retreat, he evolves. Every round he adjusted, countered sharper, and turned the fight into a cold, calculated trap. Because when your best shot still can't stop him, you're not in a fight, you're in a setup. By round 11, that trap snapped shut. One perfectly placed liver shot folded Donaire in half, and from that moment on, it was clear. No amount of grit or legacy saves you from that kind of power. Donaire didn't just lose that night, he became the cautionary tale, because when you bring fearless madness into the ring with Inoue, you're not met with resistance, you're met with punishment.
He had no opponent to be able to prove it. You feel me? Nobody he could have fought to get in the ring and got in front of besides a Pacquiao who wouldn't fight him at the time, that he could have used to prove it with.
And guys, if you really want to see where this all started, go back to Yuki Sano, one of the first opponents who brought pure chaos into the ring and thought it would rattle a young, unproven Inoue. Sano wasn't technical or strategic, but he was wild, reckless, and aggressive to the point of self-destruction. From the opening bell, he charged in with non-stop pressure, wide swings, and no interest in defense, the kind of madness that overwhelms most rookies. But Inoue didn't bite. He didn't trade recklessly or get dragged into the storm. He read Sano's every move, picked his shots, and broke him down with calm precision until the referee finally stopped it in round 10. That fight wasn't about belts, it was a warning. Even at 20, Inoue showed he didn't just survive chaos, he dismantled it. And that hasn't changed since. Inoue didn't just face psychos, he made sure they paid for every second of their delusion. So, if this is what happens when you challenge the monster, who's foolish enough to be next? Hit subscribe because the next breakdown might be someone's final round.